For the two, I like calling them the two stooges. And also for someone who I respect, even if he doesn't respect me, my man Joe, and the two little, little sidekick stooges, as I call them. I seen this little back and forth, and I seen some of y'all ask me, like, you gonna cover the back and forth with Joe Budden and Gilly? First of all, I don't really cover like that particular drama. And by the way, that's drama to build their audiences up. Let's just be clear. They're fighting for real estate in a podcast market where both of them seem to be, Joe had autonomy for a little bit on just all the older demographic. You remember, what everyday struggle was is I had the young people, he had the old people. Right? And I'm saying old relatively, like, so don't get offended. So it's like the people over like 30, like, they're Joe. They grew up in a different era. They have different type of morals. It's all good. People who, who are younger, they watch me and they see all their favorite artists. They like me. So Joe's into podcasting. A lot of people who are 30 plus, they love podcasting. He's had a pretty good autonomy and just like monopoly, actually. Maybe that's the word I should be using on the podcast demographic and market. Now here comes this dude Gilly, who seems to be aiming at the same audience, but particularly one part of it. By the way, ever since Taxstone has exited, I know he's locked up currently. Ever since Taxstone has exited the podcast scene, it appears that people, like whoever the real nigga audience is that loved Taxstone, they have been abandoned. They haven't had someone to speak to them, speak for them, and embody what they think. And that's important. You know what I mean? That's why I always big up other people in the space, because if you're super tough and you got 5 bodies and you got like 3 guns on you and you do whatever, I don't speak for you because I ain't in your position. I'm glad you watch me. If you do, I'm not going to tell you not to watch me. But if you think you're going to listen to me and I'm going to tell you what the 5-time felon, you know what I mean? Like the fucking, 20 teardrops on my face person's going to tell you, I'm probably not. I just never been through that and I can't cap, just to keep it going. However, and this my give my little my summation of what they're going through. There's nothing personal with them. This is just audience trying to fight for audience in real estate. I don't even think there was much personal with me and even Diamonds Live when we went at it. I think Diamonds Live saw I had a lion's share of like an audience, and he wanted to poach some of it and also acknowledges, establish his presence, and we kind of bumped heads. By the way, we're cool now, so water under the bridge. But still, like in the totality of things, that's what issues between personalities are. Y'all don't hang out. Y'all don't know each other, right? So when I see Joe and Gilly going at it, it's like me versus Dom. It's like, you had a huge monopoly on a whole audience, except the difference with like Gilly is that Gilly is more like a Taxstone more than just a replica of Joe. So, yeah, he's poaching a little bit of the audience that used to be fucking with Taxstone this and third. So they're doing a whole bunch of back and forth. But I guess this is why, I live my truth everywhere. And the reason why a lot of niggas don't like going back and forth with me, at least, not making memes. That's not going back and forth. Because listen, when I get on the mic, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God it. Listen, even if I look crazy, I'm going to tell the truth. But there's a lot of propaganda that niggas spread. I will say this, because I've seen some shit back and forth and people want me to comment on it. I'm not going to cover it. But I'm really talking to the two stooges because they always got mad opinions on me. I've listened to a decent amount of your podcasts before. You guys speak in depth about other people's business deals. And y'all talk like aficionados. Like y'all know how to do it the perfect and correct way. Now, not saying you don't. However, when someone levies claims against you about your deals and how you went about whatever, yeah, you can't like me. I love to talk about my drama too. You can't only talk about everybody else shit, not your own. So I know how Joe moves, but I look at them because I could tell they're foot soldiers. They march at the beat of Joe. All the comments you be having when everybody else going through deals and, is Charlamagne leaving a Breakfast Club? Or, Act didn't want to leave Complex. Or, these other podcasts. This is time for y'all to talk because I'm going to just say this very Again, I wouldn't repeat this, and I don't even care too. But what Gilly, some of the accusations that Gilly said, I heard too. You know what I mean? All this stuff about IP this and third. Again, I'm not in no beef with none of y'all, but when you're involved in everybody's business, be prepared to put your business out there too. Okay? When you're involved in everybody's business, be prepared to talk about your own. Because what Gilly's repeating is something that has been uttered to many other entities in the industry media personality space. So don't get quiet when the focus is on you. Y'all two stooges need to speak because y'all got mad. Y'all be talking like y'all do big business. I want to hear y'all talk about your own, okay? But that was my thing. I don't really care about it. I don't have a problem with Gilly. I don't even think Gilly likes me. I don't give a fuck. And for the two stooges, I just like to, consistently place y'all where y'all at. Joe's hired help, okay? Yeah, let's keep it going. We got something to say. Do my own podcast. Oh, no, my podcast is coming. Absolutely. My podcast is coming. 5 years ago, and you could ask Charlemagne, he approached me to do a podcast before even he approached Taxtone. And I hope that's not offensive to anyone. But I was really popular on YouTube, and he said, yo, you should come and do this podcast, and we're kind of doing this thing with Loudspeaker Network. I think it was 5 years ago. Maybe it was 6. And I wasn't ready then. So, I ended up pretty much, I don't like the word turn it down, but we didn't make any actions on anything, right? 3 years ago, and this is where I salute to Joe, he foresaw, Joe does have a good business mind. I don't know how contractually that looks, right? For the most part. But he does have a good, foresight into what is to come. Like, him doing a lot of blog TV shit was pretty much a blueprint for Love and Hip Hop. That's being ahead of the game. Him, I'm not going to give him all the way credit for podcasting because, you had Cypher Sounds, and even though I don't like this motherfucker Rosenberg, they were doing the hip hop podcast before that. I believe Brilliant Idiots was a podcast before even them. So Combat Jack, there's a lot of other podcasts in the thing, but they did start carrying it to another level. Anyway, 3 years ago, Joe's on Everyday Struggle. He says, yo, Ak, you should do a podcast. And, he was like, yo, you could turn this into some other shit. For many reasons, including me, I was, even when I got on Everyday Struggle, I looked at Everyday Struggle as only promotion. I didn't even care about anything else. I'm like, it's like promotion for my image, but all my checks was coming from YouTube. You get me? For the most part, I didn't even collect my first. I told you this. I never collected my first complex check for 6 months. I was like, keep that shit, right? And I finally collected it after then, right? And even then, I it's always been sporadic when I actually send in invoices to get paid. But I only say that to give you my mindset. My mindset was my audience isn't really ready for podcasts. They like my short videos, shit. You know what I mean? I know they fuck with my streams, but that's a live thing rather than a recorded 2 hour or an hour and a half thing. I think, as some of y'all are growing up, for me, it's important to not stunt my own growth. And also, Charlemagne, I'm glad, me and him, we have patched a lot of, issues or whatever between us. And, he said some dope shit to me. He said, yo, Ak, he said, I could see you growing and evolving. He said, yo, Ak, just remember this. And don't be afraid of growth. He said, if you were still doing the War in Chirac in 2020, you'd be a washed up bum. And that is true. And one in the chat right now, if do you like the War in Chirac? Probably do, right? But at some point, I had to kind of grow and evolve. So, I've been kind of gauging the readiness of me to do a podcast based on on the audience. And I see a lot of y'all say, yo, we'll fuck with it. You feel me? I'm going to do it in my own way. And that'll come, I'm planning in the next few weeks, if not months. Okay? But we will most likely not leave 2020 without me having a podcast. Now, how does it affect my stream? I'm still gonna be streaming. I'm gonna try to